Hey, what's up, you guys, and welcome to Nothing to See Here, the podcast that I hope you like listening to every now and again when I finally have the time to record something. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about the Buffalo trip, the collaboration trip with me, MFF Gaming, and D-Crack, because this is quite an interesting story. A lot of crazy shit happened, and I pretty much vlogged the entire thing, as well as David and MFF. They vlogged. But I vlogged literally pretty much everything, almost everything. And, so we were planning this trip for a while. This is back in September of 2019. The Yesh Mob had just formed. We really kind of came together as a group. The Yesh Mob really blossomed, so to speak, at that time. And the Yesh Mob is really a cool place to be. If you're not a part of the Yesh Mob, I highly recommend you check it out. Yes. But we were planning on how we were going to do this, because we were deciding where we were going to go. Like were David and MF going to fly to Georgia and see me, or was me and MF gonna go to Illinois to see David, or was me and David going to have to travel to MF? Obviously, it was going to be Plan 3, where me and David would have to travel to Buffalo, New York to see MF. We had an issue. I remember we were discussing where we were going to stay. We were looking at hotels, but it was just not working out. But we ended up settling on just staying at MF's house, and that's what ended up working to save a lot of money on that. So I saved up a bunch of money, to prepare for this trip, and it was toward the end of September. I believe it was the 24th or 23rd. And I booked a flight, a couple of days in advance. I think like a week or two in advance for this trip. It was the first time I ever flown an airplane. It wasn't the first time I flown an airplane. I went to Hollywood when I was a baby, but I was a baby. I didn't really know what was going on. But this was the first time I ever flown in a plane where I was fully conscious of what was happening. And of course, each plane ticket, for a full round trip, I got a window seat every single time. I don't know why I chose that. I had the choice to pick my seat, and my dumbass chose the window seat. I'm not really scared of heights, but when you're up there, it's pretty. It's a whole experience that's quite scary. The nearest airport I had to go to was Atlanta, because the Macon airport is literally one runway, and it'll take you to Alabama, Washington D.C., and that's about it. Like, the Macon airport is so ghetto. But I had to go all the way to Atlanta to go to that specific airport so I can get a flight to Buffalo. Now, the way my tickets were set, I had two planes, one to take me to New York, and I had about a 2-hour layover, and then I was going to get on another plane to go to Buffalo, and then after a week I was going to get on 2 more planes to go back to New York, and another 2-hour layover, and then go home to Atlanta, and then get home. So anyway, I was terrified, because I had never done nothing like this by myself. I had the hard trip. David, all he did was pack up a car and just drive. I had to fly because it's too far. So anyway, once I get through security and all that, and I'm freaking out where to find my gate number and everything. Once I finally get on the plane, I'm literally praying, and I consider myself religious. I am religious. I'm a Christian, and I'm freaking out. I'm just praying that we don't crash. And the first flight actually went quite smoothly. We had like drinks provided. We had like little snacks. And so after about, what was it, maybe an hour and a half, I landed in New York. When I had about a 2-hour layover time, so I was kind of just chilling there in the airport, not really doing anything. So I get on another plane. It was nighttime at this point. When I landed in New York, it was completely dark. So I just sat there at the airport. So when I get on the second plane to go to Buffalo, it was completely nighttime. I think it started raining a bit. And this is the only flight that actually scared me, because we hit so much turbulence. The whole plane was shaking. The plane was a lot smaller too. This plane was a lot smaller in comparison to the first plane. But we were hitting so many turbulence. If you looked out the window and looked down, you could see the ocean, barely see the ocean below you, and like, oh, imagine if this thing crashed right now. I was so scared, and I even said it in the video, like this ride is very, very bumpy. And I got in Buffalo at around midnight, and David and MF were already there to pick me up, and we were walking around. We kind of walked around when we got to their house. It was super early in the morning, so we just kind of walked around outside, just chillaxing and finally being in the presence of each other. And then we finally went to bed. We went to sleep. And then we woke up that morning. I was the second to wake up. David was already awake, and we went in there and we messed with MF. It became like a running joke. If we were up early, we'd go in there and mess with MF while he's trying to sleep. I believe it was on the second day where we live streamed on David's channel just to show that we were together, and we went to eat, like Applebee's. Yes, it's delicious. And then we went to go see It Chapter 2, and this is where the whole thing, where I was bitching about how MF didn't even bother to tell us that he hadn't seen the first It, and then after that, it was super late at this point. I think it was like midnight, 1 o'clock. And we decided to go to a cemetery, and we freaked out because we thought we saw a ghost and blah 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 blah. And that's basically the first real day of the trip. That's all we did. And the third day, this is where things get interesting. I woke up and I took a shower. We woke up MF again as usual, and this is where MF gives us rotten milk. We've told this story before. It's quite funny. And, I'd never been in New York before, and MF's like, oh, you gotta try New York milk. New York milk is something special. And in my head, I'm thinking, oh, okay, New York milk must be really special. It must be better than Georgia milk, I guess. Unbeknownst to me, it's just the brand of milk that he had, I can literally go pick up at my store. So it's nothing new. So he pours it in a cup, and I'm drinking it. It tastes really funny. And I'm just like, In my head, I'm thinking, New York milk just tastes really funny. It just tastes weird. Unbeknownst to me and David, that milk is super expired. So I got footage of me and David gagging and MF just laughing his ass off. And then we went to the Anchor Bar this day. Me being an extreme pussy, I don't like spicy food. I ordered the mild wings. And I'm just like coughing and sneezing and hiccuping. And I still get made fun of to this very day. And then we go to the Sabres game. That was an experience. I had never been to a Sabres game before. It was broadcasted on TV. I didn't know where the cameras were specifically. I think we saw them like way up at the top. But we were just joking around. David was like eating popcorn funny, and I was filming all that. MFF bought 2 hats. We still run that joke past him every now and again, any chance we get. And now we're going on to the next day. We woke up in the morning, and once again, we messed with MF. Like, it become a running joke at this point. Then we ate at this place called the Apollo restaurant, which I believe MFF got a job at. Congratulations. I'm clapping for you, MF, if you're listening right now, because as this video gets out, you will have already been working there, so congrats to that. We ate at this place called the Apollo. It was really cool. And then we just started driving around Buffalo. We went downtown. It's where I got my tattoo, the one with the my parents' signatures on it. And then we came back and just we walked around. We went to eat at Dairy Queen first, and then we tried to find the abandoned asylum. The abandoned asylum, which turned into a hotel. That's basically where the game Outlast, where they got inspiration to make the game Outlast. It's the same exact building pretty much, and like the middle part is the hotel itself, but there's two closed sections off on either side of the building, and it's like the abandoned part where the asylum actually is. They do tours in those sections of the asylum part, but apparently while we were there, they were not. I was lucky enough to even film in there because I had to go in there and ask if we were allowed to, go in there and take pictures and stuff. I had to literally sign a contract that stated if I talked any smack about said building that I was going to get sued. This is no joke. I literally signed a contract to make sure I didn't bash their name. And it was really weird. It was a really nice hotel. It was a super nice hotel. And, we were walking around making jokes, talking about how there's a ghost in every corner. And it wasn't until, I want to say, about a year or so later. I'm trying to think. Yeah, it had to have been about a year or so later where we actually heard a voice pick up on my camera. Me and David were actually just chit-chatting. We're walking around the halls. And I think David said something along the lines of, you hear, this is where, like, people were tortured. When sick people came here, they were tortured and they were not treated well. And I think I said yes, but I think right after me, somebody else said yes. I have it on my phone. I'm about to play it for you guys, if you can hear it. I feel congested a little bit. You know what? They probably totally blocked it off, but the original building, I guarantee on one of the floors. What are they? I feel congested a little bit. And thousands of people have died, mistreated, and when you came here, did you have trouble breathing a little bit? I just feel right there, congested. Right there. It's right. That's actually when it happens. It's right when I say, are you having trouble breathing? Listen very carefully. Right after I say, are you having trouble breathing? You'll hear David say yes. But right after David says yes, you hear yes. But it's very faint. Listen carefully. And thousands of people have died, mistreated, and when you came here, did you have trouble breathing a little bit? I feel congested. Yeah, screw that. There was like a yes and a yeah. It was like, yes, yeah, yes, yeah. So listen one more time. I'm going to play this one more time. It sounds like a yes and a yeah. I did not, like I said, I did not hear this until a year later. And thousands of people have died, mistreated, and when you came here, did you have trouble breathing a little bit? I feel congested. Yeah. Screw that. It terrified me when I heard it. But yeah, we walked around there, and that was the end of that day specifically. Then we going on into the next day, where MFF was already awake. We tried to wake him up, but he didn't really. I think he was already up before us, but this is when he did the Death Nut challenge. You could check that out on his channel. I only filmed the aftermath of him just gagging in the sink and laughing. And then after that, shortly after that, we went to Applebee's once again. Yes, you gotta love that Applebee's. We were kind of bored that day. We really didn't do much. David was looking for a gas station. He starts freaking out. He's like in the car doing the angry grandpa voice, like, fuck you. Then we had like a little cookout or something. This is something that MF's mother got together, where we met some of the family, me and David specifically. And then after that, we went to this this is where I went to the strip club. Now, you've heard this story before. I went to the strip club and I got a lap dance and everything. And this was not the night that I got tore up, but that night would follow soon enough. Then we went to this abandoned ruins. It wasn't abandoned ruins, but it was like this this place where this building used to stand, and it was like what was left. And then that was that day. That was another day gone. And then the next day, this is the day where we go to Niagara Falls. We got up super early, but I don't think we ended up going there till about mid-afternoon. we had a really hard time trying to find a place to park. Everywhere you parked, you had to pay just to see the falls. So we had to find a place and pay. That took us at least a good hour. And then we walked to the falls. And this is where the whole MFF Indiana Jones joke started. And he's actually quite tired of that joke. I don't blame him, but it's still funny because because he sent us in the complete wrong direction. But it is what it is. The whole thing about going to like a certain Walmart, and he took us to like Niagara Falls Walmart, but that's a whole nother story. And it was the first time I ever seen Niagara Falls in person. I was like, this is cool. You look across the way, you could see Toronto. We could have gone over there, but we didn't have our passports. And then after that, we ate at Chili's, and this is a very pivotal moment of the trip. This is when I have all three of us sign a mini contract saying within a 5-year period, we are all going to get together for another trip and to Vegas. It would be Vegas specifically. And it was on a napkin. I still have that napkin. So yeah, we're already almost 2 years in, and we still haven't gone to Vegas because of COVID. COVID really effed a lot of things up. We were really right before COVID happened, we were about to do another trip to Miami. It was going to be me, MF, John, and I think David was going to come with us. So literally right before COVID happened, we were almost going to go. I was saving money. We were looking at hotels. We were looking at flights. It was going to happen, but COVID stopped everything dead in its tracks. COVID stopped a lot of things. But anyway, that's besides the point. So we're back at Chili's. We haven't signed the contract. And then we go to this Halloween store. It was Spirit Halloween, so it was like right around Halloween time. So we had David and MF put on some masks. It was real funny. And then we go home. Now, at the end of that specific vlog, I'm acting really off because I got super, super drunk. Probably the drunkest I ever been up until that point. I drank a lot. I mean, I'm a lightweight. I'm the cheapest drunk on the planet. You give me anything, it doesn't take anything at all to get me effed up. But all kidding aside, we went back to the strip club. Me and David went in, and like I said, I ended up spending like $200 in there with this chick named, what was her name? I've already forgot her name. Blair. Her name was Blair, and I still to this day will not hear the end of it. I want to see Blair. I want to see Blair. Yeah, anytime I go to a strip club, I'm not even going to really dwell into the details anymore just because it becomes a freaking laugh stock at that point. I went to a strip club on Halloween this past year, and I didn't get tore up. I was drunk, but I didn't get extremely tore up like I did in Buffalo. But anyway, yeah. And around this time, for the next 3 days, I think David had already left. So at this point, for the next 3 days, 2 or 3 days, it was just me and MF. We watched a bunch of movies. We walked around the street. We really didn't do much after David left. But I showed him Pulp Fiction for the first time, and he really enjoyed that. We called David on the phone a few times on the vlog. We sat around the fire and just hung out. And then I left on early morning, October 1st. I went back home because I really missed being home. But with all kidding aside, it was a trip to remember. I hit 1,000 subscribers while I was in Buffalo, and that was crazy. I did the Death Nut Challenge, and I really don't know okay, this is going to be quite serious because I really don't know where I would be right now if it wasn't for those two people. The entire Yesh Mob included, I really care so much for you guys, and if it wasn't for the Yesh Mob and, D-Crack's support, MFF's support, helping me build my channel and we help each other build each other's channels, I'd probably still be, stuck, with 200-300 subscribers. Right when I started meeting people online in 2018, which I'll tell that story another day. That's talking about the most depressed and upset I've ever been, but that'll be a whole nother story. When I met people online, I only had like maybe 200 subscribers, something like that. It wasn't much. I think I had like a little under 200. And like I said, I have uh, longitude of gratitude for them. You know, I'm very grateful to call them my friends, and hopefully we can have a friendship that will last for many, many years to come. And I hope that we will have another trip in the future. But right now, it's just a matter of, you know, when COVID gets out of here, and it's a matter of when I can get time off of work. You know, I have a full-time job now, and now MF has a full-time job. You know, we're all kind of busy right now. It's just a really awkward gray area. You know, a lot of things have been going on right now, and it's just hard to plan things. You know, I'm still trying to make content for you guys, but it's really hard. And I got so much that I want to do this year, and the podcast was one of them. So I am accomplishing that, but there's still a couple more things I want to get done this year, and it's just going to take every little bit of energy in my being to do. So if just keep supporting my channel, I will continue to deliver you guys content. Just be sure to hit that thumbs up and please subscribe. It will really help out. You know, we're almost at the halfway point. You know, we're almost at 1.5K to get to my 2,000 subscriber goal. So that'll be coming soon. So that's the podcast for today. If you enjoy these, be sure to give a thumbs up, like I said, and follow me on my Twitter and Instagram. You know them. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.